Ever found yourself in a situation that just felt impossible? Like
Yeah.
the path forward was completely blocked?
Or maybe you've seen one of those unexplained synchronicities, something that leads to a really extraordinary outcome.
Yeah, exactly. Well, today on the deep dive, we're looking into a really fascinating personal story. It points to something called Abdullah's teaching as the key to a pretty remarkable breakthrough.
Mm-hmm. And our mission, really, for this deep dive is to dig into this real life account, pull out the core ideas, and just explore what it might suggest about tackling these huge, seemingly insurmountable challenges.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Our source material, it describes a renter facing a massive hurdle.
Okay.
They needed a very specific sum of money, enough for 6 months' rent, paid up front.
Wow, 6 months. That's a lot.
It is. And here's the kicker. At that time, they had no job, no income to show anyone.
Right. No proof of income.
For most people, I mean, that's not just a challenge, right? That feels like a complete dead end.
Absolutely. It's exactly that kind of tight spot that forces you to look, beyond the usual answers, to think about what else might be possible when the normal ways are just closed off.
So faced with this really daunting situation, our source says the renter turned to Abdullah's teaching. Let's unpack this. How did this approach actually help them solve such a, well, seemingly impossible problem?
Well, what's really insightful, according to the account anyway, is that the renter didn't focus on how to get the money or how to convince a landlord.
Right, not the practical steps first.
No. Instead, the core idea they applied from this Abdullah's teaching was about the power of, internal assumption, assuming something is true inside rather than just external effort.
Okay.
It's less about chasing it, more about getting into the state of already having it.
And this is where, the actions described in our source get really interesting.
Hmm.
They didn't try to get the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
They, and I'm quoting here, assumed I was in this specific apartment overlooking the beautiful, uninterrupted city views.
Wow. So specific, the views and everything.
Exactly. It wasn't just, oh, I hope I get an apartment. It was this embodied feeling, a certainty of already being there.
And that's a key difference, isn't it? That distinction between just wanting something, like a passive desire, and actively assuming it's already yours.
Yeah.
This teaching seems to suggest focusing completely on the end result. Not the how, just the feeling, the reality that it had already happened.
So the big question this raises is, what power does that kind of assumption as an internal state actually hold? How is it different from just, hoping really hard?
Well, according to this narrative, the difference is profound.
Because the outcome described is,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty astonishing, frankly. The renter says, the money magically found its way to me.
Magically. That's a strong word.
It is. And they add, via a series of inexplicable synchronistic events, not just one thing, but a series.
Inexplicable. Synchronistic. So not a lottery win or an expected inheritance, but things lining up in unexpected ways.
That seems to be the implication. Yeah. And it challenges, our usual ideas about how resources or opportunities actually show up.
Definitely. And the account adds another crucial detail these events provided them with: precisely the amount I needed.
Ah, okay. So not just some money or almost enough money.
Exactly. The exact amount for those 6 months' rent, which adds this layer of uncanny precision to the whole thing.
It really does. Inexplicable synchronistic events delivering the precise amount needed. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do things like that maybe happen on a smaller scale
Yeah.
and we just don't notice or connect the dots?
That's a fair point. But this story, it has this final piece, a kind of validation that's really powerful.
Right, the confirmation moment.
Yeah, this final detail, as it's told in the account, it seems to give this deep personal confirmation to the person experiencing it, like the universe just giving a little nod.
So what happened? Tell us about this climactic moment.
Okay, so the source describes the scene. We're at the lease signing. Keys are handed over, lease is signed, everything's done.
The deal is sealed. They have the apartment.
Yes. And just as the renter is packing their bag, getting ready to leave, the admin assistant in the office finishes up a phone call.
Okay.
And she hangs up saying, clearly enough for the renter to hear, "Thank you, Abdullah."
Whoa.
Abdullah. Right. The renter, naturally, stops and asks, "Excuse me, what was the name of the person you just said thank you to?"
And the admin.
The admin just confirmed it. Abdullah.
Wow. Okay, that timing.
The timing, the specific name. It's incredibly impactful in the context of the story, right? It
Mhm.
acts as this powerful, very personal validation of the teaching's influence. It gives the whole experience this strong emotional
Yeah,
resonance.
like a signpost.
Yeah.
It ties the assumption, the synchronicity, and the name all together.
Exactly. It feels, within the narrative at least, like an unmistakable affirmation.
And the renter's reaction. Our source says, I just smiled, touched my heart with my left four fingers, and simply repeated her words, thank you, Abdullah. It's such a beautiful way to acknowledge what they clearly saw as Abdullah's role in this magical and magnificent outcome, as they put it.
What really stands out for me in this whole account is that sharp contrast, between how we normally try to solve problems, planning, effort, convincing people,
Right, the conventional approach.
versus this complete reliance on an internal state, on certainty. It suggests maybe a different place where control lies, a shift from trying to manage everything outside to cultivating this inner conviction first.
That's a really interesting way to put it. Shifting from external management to internal conviction. And that validation moment with the name, it just seems to perfectly cap that perspective, doesn't it?
It really does.
So let's just quickly recap this remarkable story. You have a renter, no job, needs a big chunk of rent money up front.
Seems impossible.
Right. Instead of hitting the pavement, they choose to simply assume they are already living in that specific apartment, enjoying those city views.
That internal shift.
Then, through what they call inexplicable synchronistic events, the precise amount of money needed just appears.
Yeah.
And finally, that incredible moment of validation at the lease signing with that perfectly timed, thank you, Abdullah.
It's quite a narrative, and as presented in our source, it really does powerfully illustrate this idea that maybe our specific inner states, our assumptions, can actually precede and shape our external reality in ways that are, well, pretty surprising.
Exactly. So maybe for you, our listener, here's something to think about. Could focusing more on the feeling, the actual feeling of already having what you desire, rather than getting totally bogged down in the how of getting it,
Right.
could that open doors? Could it lead to unexpected solutions in your own life?
It's a provocative thought.
Yeah. What seemingly impossible situations might look different or unfold differently if you approach them with that sense, that feeling of already having achieved the outcome you want, something to definitely mull over.